Howdy. I'm the old ranger, and Death Valley's my stamping ground. Many's the tale of adventure I'm going to tell you about the Death Valley country. True stories, mind you. I can vouch for that. Have you ever seen one of these? This is a miner's drill. The kind they used to use back in the days before automatic drills were invented. And could those boys make them bite into the rock? One of the main events on 4th of July in every mining camp was a drilling contest to prove which fellow was the champion driller. And the camp of Round Mountain, Nevada was no exception.
Time! Dan Gorman. Best score yet, 15 1/4 inches.
Next and last contestant, Lou Barry.
Try and top that score, fella.
Guess you know the rules, Lou. You got 15 minutes to show how deep you can dig into that there block. Get ready.
If you got any money on me, baby, you can start collecting.
Oh, yeah?
Go!
Come on, Lou, you can do it! Go to it, Lou, attaboy, you can do it!
Wasting your breath, honey. And so is he.
Lou Barry, a new record, 16 inches. Here's to the best blamed driller in Esmeralda County.
Esmeralda County, heck, he's champion of the whole United States.
The only man to ever beat that record was Paul Bunyan, and he just stuck his finger through that rock.
Well, Bill Houston, you're just in time.
We're celebrating Lou's victory.
Have a drink.
Thanks. I need this.
What's the matter, Bill?
And my lawyer just told me that Martin's claim on the Eureka mine will stand up in court.
But you located it. It was your big strike.
But finding and owning are two different things as far as law's concerned.
All the low-down claim-jumping tricks.
That's why I needed this drink. For all these years, Sarah's been counting on that mine.
Well, fight it through anyhow. There's always a chance.
A good chance to go broke. Pouring good money after bad never did anybody any good at all.
He's right. With that mine closed, I need all I've got to live on.
No, Bill, you can't give up without a struggle. Not when you're in the right. And you never can tell what you might turn up with.
This case is airtight.
Did you ever see his location notices?
You see it? I've been studying till my eyes are blind. His claim is dated 3 months before mine. Here, look at it yourself.
December 3rd, 10 miles southwest of the town of Beatty.
That's right.
Don't that strike you as queer?
What's queer about it?
The time he says he recorded that ground, the town of Beatty wasn't in existence.
What?
There wasn't nothing there but old man Beatty's ranch.
By golly, you're right.
Oh, in that case...
In that case, Martin hasn't got a case.
Wait till I tell my lawyer.
Hey, wait a minute. Don't forget your paper.
Oh, thanks, Lou, thanks.
All right, boys, business is over. Management can't make any money this way. How about a dance, Chan?
Good idea.
This guy Barry gives me a pain in the neck. Ever since he came into this town, he's been trying to steal everything from me. First off, he grabbed my job as head of the miners' union.
The boys elected him.
Just because he has a gift to gab. Next, he cheated me out of the drilling championship.
Lou won fair and square. He naturally outdrilled you.
But I'll be hanged if he's going to steal my girl from me.
Well, if you're half the man you say you are, why don't you do something about it?
My friend, that's just what I'm going to do.
Wait a minute. I was only kidding. Lou Barry's no fellow to go messing around with.
All right, that's enough. You ain't dancing with my girl anymore.
Your girl? Well, I like that. Come on, Lou.
You heard me. Now, take it easy, Dan. Quit your shoving.
Look out!
That ought to fix you, you blasted show-off.
Oh, no.
Get back. Get back. All of you.
And to think he was out there only yesterday with everybody cheering him on.
How am I ever going to tell him?
Easier with almost any other man than Lou.
Well, I guess I better go on in so I can be with him when he comes out of the ether. I thought you'd still be under the ether. Aren't you wonderful to snap out of it so fast? Oh, all the boys send their best. Bill and Jerry and everyone.
So they cut it off.
It was the only way, Lou. It was your arm or your life.
Well, they made a poor choice. A hard rock miner with only one arm.
There are other jobs besides hard rock mining.
Sure, lots of them. Like being a left-handed paper hanger. Or a five-fingered piano player.
Lou, don't.
What became of Dan?
He left town. He hadn't folks had killed him the way they felt.
I'll kill him myself if I ever lay my hands... Why did it have to happen, Clem? Why?
It don't do no good to wonder why things happen. All you can do is make the best of them.
What hurts most is that now I can't ask you to marry me.
Did you say marry?
Yeah. I was going to ask you last night.
A married woman. With a home and a husband. Instead of just a dance hall girl that every man thinks he can buy. Oh, Lou.
You don't understand. I said I can't ask you now.
Then I'll ask you. Lou, will you marry me?
You don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying I'd rather have one of your arms around me than two of any other man's in the world.
You sure you ain't asking just because you're sorry?
I love you, Lou. I love you as much as any woman ever loved a man.
Clem.
Oh, Lou. I start the song leaning against the piano, see, till I get to the chorus, and then I swing myself up on it. Oh, here, let me help you. There you are.
Thanks.
Oh, my gosh, it's getting late, and I've got to finish getting dressed. You be all right?
Sure, you go on. Don't wait for me. I'm slow.
honey. I'll do them when I get home.
Ain't that dress kind of low?
Oh, it's no lower than any of the rest of them. Don't wait up for me. I'll be late.
Hello, Jerry.
Glad to see you. You're looking fine.
Oh, I'm feeling fine. Almost as good as new. Give me a little more time and I'll be able to do as much with one arm as I used to with two.
What I came to see you about, Lou, we're having a drilling contest on Labor Day. And the boys and everyone, we're wondering if you'd act as a judge. None better fitted, you know, ex-champ. And what I mean to say is, Lou, we'd sure be proud to have you.
Well, thanks, Jerry, but I'm afraid I'll be too busy. You see, I got my eye on a job. A couple of jobs, as a matter of fact. As soon as I'm feeling better, I'll be starting work.
Oh, well, that's great. Glad to hear it. I'll tell the boys.
Thanks.
So long, Lou.
Down, Lou. When I hoisted myself on the piano and swung into the chorus, they started throwing the money. Fairly rained it on me. Well, just look at it.
How do you think I feel when you bring home money like that? Money that's been thrown at you by a bunch of men who ain't fit to tie your shoelaces.
Well, don't be silly, honey. They none of them mean a thing to me.
That ain't the point. The point is you're supporting me. I'm living off of you.
Why, I'm only too glad to do all I can to help.
I can't stand it. It eats clear through me. There must be something I can do, some kind of a job.
You've got too much pride, Lou. Here we've only been married a couple of months, and you laid up most of that time. And already you're blaming yourself for something that ain't your fault.
The only thing I'm blaming myself for is having married you.
Lou.
Wished myself off on you for life. Me who ain't never gonna do another good day's work again.
Lou, don't say such things. Don't even think them. I love you, don't you understand? I love you just as you are. It's gonna be all right, honey, you'll see. It'll be all right.
Sure. Sure, it'll be all right.
Oh, hello, Bill.
Hello, Clem. It's late, I know, but I couldn't wait till morning to see Lou. Lou, I won! I won!
You mean the Martin case?
Yeah, sure. Just as easy as rolling off a log.
How wonderful.
Yeah, all thanks to Lou. I ought to pay you instead of that fool lawyer.
Oh, nonsense.
It's a fact. You've got legal sense. Why, you look at a paper and you pick a flaw just like that. You take it from me. You ought to be a lawyer.
I'm glad you won, Bill.
And now all I got to do is get the mine operating on a paying basis.
Yeah, the stuff's there.
Sure. Say, I'd better be going. And thanks, Lou. Oh.
Good night, Bill.
Good night. Oh, hey, good night, Clem.
Good night, Bill.
Well, at least he's got something to look forward to.
And so have you, Lou. I wonder I didn't think of it before. You're just naturally cut out to be a lawyer.
Oh, that.
Yes, that.
Me?
Well, you said yourself before all this happened that you weren't going to be a $4 a day driller all your life.
All right, I was.
You've still got your brains, Lou. Dan's gun didn't blow them out. You've got your tongue, your eyes, your ears. You've got everything you need to be a lawyer.
Except a little thing called education.
Nobody's born with an education. That's something you gotta get.
That's a little too late to start at 27.
Well, it's never too late. All it takes is time and hard work.
And money. No, the whole idea's crazy.
You can do it if you want to, Lou. But of course, if you want to go around feeling sorry for yourself and be a quitter.
Who said I was a quitter?
That's more like it. Now you listen to me. You're going to school and study law. I don't care how long it takes. 1 year, 2 years, 5. But you're going to learn all there is to know about it. Then you're going to hang out your shingle. Lou Barry, attorney at law. Why, before you're through, you're going to be one of the greatest lawyers in the state, in the whole West.
But
nothing. I can take care of the money. Why, there's no girl in this camp makes what I do. If it bothers you about taking it, well, we'll call it a loan. After your success, you can pay me back 1,000%. Well, what about it?
you're the one who ought to be the lawyer, Clem. If ever I plead a case as well as you...
Then the verdict is...
Yes, sweetheart.
Oh, no.
Statutory liability is one imposed upon shareholders by special statute over and above their common law liability for the protection of creditors. Is not generally a part of the corporate funds for the purpose of carrying on its business.
Frankie and Johnny were sweethearts. They were so much in love. They swore to be true to each other, true as the stars above. He was her man, but he'd done her wrong. Frankie and Johnny went walking, Johnny in a brand new suit. My, oh my, said Frankie, doesn't Johnny look cute? He was her man, but he done her wrong.
I like your singing, girl. You're pretty good.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a minute. How about going someplace and singing just for me?
Take your hand off.
That's no way for a nice warm girl to talk on a cold evening.
If you weren't so drunk, I'd smash your skull in.
What's the matter? She's a dance hall gal, ain't she?
Come on, beat it and sober up. You all right, Clem?
Oh, sure. It's just that sometimes I get so sick of all this.
I'll bet. Want me to see you to your door?
No, thanks. I'm used to walking it alone.
Your Honor, gentlemen of the jury, I am not pleading for the prisoner simply to win a case, any more than my respected colleague is prosecuting in order to gain a personal triumph. Our sole purpose, as yours must be, is to see justice done, so that the innocent will not suffer because of prejudice and blindness. To prove a man guilty, the law states that guilt must be established beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now, I ask you to consider carefully the evidence which has been placed before you by the prosecution. Can you honestly say, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the accused committed the crime for which he is charged? Gentlemen, I know what your answer will be, and I thank you for your attention. Your Honor, the defense rests.
attorney at law, just as Clem had hoped. It hadn't been easy. In fact, it was an uphill climb all the way. But with Clem pushing, Lou reached the top of his profession.
Come in.
Lou.
Yes?
It's me, Dan. Don't you know me? It's Dan Gorman.
Dan Gorman.
I'm in trouble, terrible trouble, and I need help.
And you come to me for it.
I know I got no right to, but it's you or nobody. I've been reading about you in the paper and listening to folks talk about you. You're the greatest criminal lawyer in the whole state. You've never lost an important case. You're the only one that can help me.
What's your trouble?
They're after me for murder. They claim I killed a man in a room in the house. And
I only defend people I believe in.
I didn't do it, Lou. I swear I didn't. I've stooped pretty low since that night at Round Mountain, but I never killed anybody. Never. Please, Lou. Please, I beg of you. You're the only one that can get me out of this. If you don't, they're going to hang me, and I'm innocent.
Look at me and say that.
I swear it. I'm innocent.
All right, Dan, I'll defend you.
You will? You actually will?
I guess I really owe it to you. If it hadn't been for you, I might still be a $4 a day driller, earning my living with my muscles instead of my mind. I have to go out for a while. You wait in there. Nobody will disturb you. We'll talk it over when I come back.
Oh, there was something I forgot to tell you.
Haven't any money? That's all right, Dan. You won't be the first one.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that's all right, dear. Come right on in.
Who was that awful-looking tramp?
A very important client. I'll tell you about him later when I have more time. Right now, I have to get over to court.
Let's go then.
Do you have to hear every speech I make to the jury?
Any objection?
What do you think? I haven't time for that either. I want to stop by the Van Ness Street jail before going to court.
You're the boss.
That's Lou Berry. He's the smartest attorney in the West. Used to be a miner before he took up law. He deserves a lot of credit. He's a self-made man.
Self-made man, indeed.
Who's the woman with him?
That's his wife.
Wife? You'd think a man in his position would marry a lady.
No, Lou, she's right. I guess in thinking about you, I forgot about myself.
As far as I'm concerned, you're the finest lady in the land.
Thank you, darling. But that still doesn't change other folks' opinion. I guess it's my turn now to do some studying.
And my turn to pay the bills.
I hope I'm as good at becoming a lady as you were a lawyer.
Of that, I have no doubts.
Shall we go in, Mr. Barry?
Yes, Mrs. Berry?
These two old newspaper clippings should wind up my story. This one tells how Lou Barry got Dan Gorman acquitted of murder. And this one from the society page reads, Guest of honor at luncheon, Mrs. Lou Barry, social leader of San Francisco. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. At the age of 34, a young officer from Indiana was made a major general in the Union Army. It was the highest rank then given, and he was the youngest man ever to achieve it. But as they say, the higher you get, the further you have to fall. General Wallace was blamed for the near disaster which the Union forces experienced at the Battle of Shiloh. He claimed it was only a scapegoat. These accusations hung heavy on his heart. But later events faced him with his greatest challenge and darkened his life like a shadow on the window. In August of 1878, on his 16th annual return to the battlefield at Shiloh, General Wallace was still reliving the combat, refiguring what he should have or might have done, still suffering the dishonor he'd endured there. But it was here at Shiloh that Lew Wallace was summoned by his old friend, President Rutherford B. Hayes, to become governor of the lawless New Mexico Territory. Arriving at Santa Fe with his ailing son Henry, General Lew Wallace prepared to make the territory of New Mexico a better place to live, both for its inhabitants and his wife Susan, whom he left behind in Crawfordsville, Indiana.
Sorry, Father. Maybe we could find somebody with a card and they can...
If no one was on hand to meet us, I doubt if anyone will risk being friendly to us now.
Why is everyone ignoring us?
Shiloh, son, Shiloh. They're probably hoping that they can persuade the bungler of Shiloh to turn around and go home before he bungles the job of governor.
But everybody's forgotten Shiloh except you, Father.
Well, what else could it be? Say, that must be the governor's mansion there, Henry.
Palace of the Governor. Some palace.
Well, at least it proves that they have a sense of humor. You know something? I have an idea we're going to need ours before we're through. Come on, let's go.
Your predecessor left last night for San Francisco. Discretion being the better part of valor.
Well, apparently you two gentlemen are the only Santa Fe people indiscreet enough to talk to me.
Sheriff Garrett and I are from Lincoln City. Came down purposely to talk to you. Houston Chapman.
Mr. Chapman?
The only honest lawyer in the territory except you, General.
Governor. My son Henry, gentlemen. I'll help with the bags.
The back door to the executive mansion is open.
Oh, thank you, Sheriff.
It's all right, sir.
Pat accidentally leaned against the door this morning, as we thought there were some papers in there we needed.
You accidentally went in.
That's right.
Well, it doesn't look as though the last governor was a very good housekeeper.
The cleanliness of the room measures up to his politics. If what I heard is true.
It is.
Well, I guess I'll go have a look at the living quarters.
Well, I take it that you two gentlemen didn't find what you came after.
We might have been a little high-handed, but we were hoping that by the time you got here, we'd have pieced together enough evidence to put you on the right track straight off. How much have you heard about the Lincoln County War?
Well, only the two factions are fighting it out for what they hope will be a complete monopoly of all New Mexico's ranching lands and natural resources.
With each employing professional killers, with crooked officials playing patsy with both sides.
It'll take me a couple of days to grasp things, Mr. Chapman. In the meantime, you can tell the clerk of the court that I order all records be made available to you.
Thank you.
I'll put it in writing if you like.
I doubt he could read. I'll take a run over there. That'll fill you in a little.
You've been probably wondering why Mr. Chapman and I have in such a hurry to see you, Governor Wallace. There's a conspiracy to keep you in complete ignorance long enough to settle things.
Naturally, both sides are confident of victory.
Uh-huh. They have arsenals large enough to stage a battle as big as Shiloh, and... Well, I'm sorry, Governor.
That's all right. I'll declare martial law if I have to, Sheriff. But even that won't do any good unless I do a little house cleaning first.
Well, I can give you a list of the known killers that I've arrested, only to have them turned free by court order. And Mr. Chapman, he can give you the name of each so-called respectable businessman, rancher, and territorial official.
It's Chapman.
All right, I'll shoot the first man that tries to leave. Come on, line up. Come on, get down out of there. Get away from him. Line up, come on.
Who saw the killers? I asked a question. Every one of you must have witnessed the murder. Now I want an answer. Now look, I'm Lew Wallace, new governor of this territory, and you may as well understand right now that the days of lawlessness are over in New Mexico. You, what did you see?
Not a thing, Governor.
Do you know how many years you can get for withholding evidence in a murder case?
Now, I ain't withholding nothing. I was looking the other way.
You'll get nothing out of Parker, Governor. He's an old hand at this sort of thing.
2 or 3 men fired at him. What did they look like? What did you see?
No hablo inglés, señor.
Pues, voy a preguntar en español. ¿Quién lo ha matado?
No sé.
You can ask him in a dozen languages. And all the known Indian dialects, that won't do any good. I'll see that they get locked up, but I doubt if that'll make them talk either. Everybody's on somebody's payroll or scared out of their wits.
All right, come on, move out there.
Paula?
Oh, Henry, I thought you were asleep.
I was just wondering when you were coming to bed.
As soon as I finish this chapter.
But it's after midnight, and it must have been close to dawn before you got to bed last night.
Well, I certainly can't spare time for my writing during the day. I got a long way to go on that book yet.
Well, what's the hurry?
I'm not an old man yet, Henry, but the years are passing, and I'm determined to be remembered when I'm gone.
Of course you'll be remembered.
For your mother's sake, and for yours as well as my own, I'd like it to be as the man who created the story of Ben-Hur. Not the blunderer of Shiloh or the impotent governor of New Mexico.
But you're accomplishing things here.
I can't even find a witness to the killing of my first friend in the territory.
Well, what's happened to Sheriff Garrett?
Well, he's got his hands full in Lincoln County. I've got others on the job, not that they haven't any luck. You know, if we could arrest and convict Chapman's killers, it'd serve notice on every outlaw in this territory that from now on, New Mexico...
What is it? Who's it from?
Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid?
He swears that this is one of the guns that killed Chapman. That he'll testify against Chapman's murderers if I agree to his terms.
Which I will state to you if you will meet me in an hour at the old parish shack, which is out from town about... Father?
This is the one break that I've been praying for.
But he says to come alone and unarmed.
Well, I'm leaving the gun there.
Keep your hands away from your sides. Come in.
I'm Governor Wallace.
I'm Bonnie.
Billy the Kid.
Now, I might look like a kid. Don't get any ideas.
I came here to find out yours. The conditions you mentioned in your note.
You promised me a full pardon for everything I ever done. And I'll go into court and give you an eyewitness account of Chapman's murder.
My word enough?
Yeah, your word's good enough.
Agreed.
It was 3 of the Murphy gang. Jim Dolan, Bill Matthews, William Campbell. I can tell your boys where to pick them up.
They'll have to arrest you, too. I can't pardon you until you've stood trial.
I got that part all figured out.
Oh?
You see, I especially don't want anybody to think that I'm spilling what I know willingly. So we'll arrange a fake battle and I'll let your lawmen capture me.
Why are you doing this, Billy?
Anybody would do it for a full pardon.
You know I haven't got a shred of evidence against you that could stand up in court. Why?
Because I think them 3 had their hand in another killing. John Turnstile. He gave me the only honest job I ever had. My whole life, he was the only person that ever treated me decent.
I'll try to treat you decent, Billy.
You better, Mr. Governor. Because to me, a friend's a friend and an enemy's an enemy. You try any kind of double cross, and you'll find no matter how many changes you've made in New Mexico so far, I can still get away with murder.
And I will faithfully discharge my duties to the very utmost of my abilities. So help me God.
Congratulations, Judge Bristol.
Thanks to you, Governor.
It'll be a pleasure to have a man like you on the bench.
Well, I'll probably make my share of mistakes, but at least I'll try to be impartial, whether the man on the other side of the bench is Pat, or you, or Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid, say. Sheriff Garrett and I have to get over to the jail again and see Billy. I'll sign those later, Henry. You'll have to excuse me till later in the day, gentlemen. I can't see anybody else this morning.
Does that go for me, too?
Mother! Susan!
Henry! Oh, dear! Oh, no.
Oh, pardon me, gentlemen. My wife.
That better be who she is.
I'll wait for you outside, Governor. I'll see you later, gentlemen. Susan, it's wonderful to see you. But what brings you here at a time like this?
Well, now, let me see. A sleeping car as far as Pueblo, and then the narrow gauge to Trinidad, and a buckboard the rest of the way. The driver's outside waiting to see where my luggage goes.
Oh, you're not staying, Susan. Ike was right, you know. This is no place for you or Henry.
Oh, Ike has a wonderful job lined up for Henry. He could take the buckboard as far as Trinidad if you wanted to go back east.
Susan, Henry is making his own decisions these days.
And I've already made mine. I'm staying. Go ahead and visit your desperado. Oh, looks like I'll have plenty to keep me busy before you get back.
Yeah, that's right. Half of the guns found in Murphy's warehouse are from Fort Stanton.
What was the name of the man who sold them?
Ritchie, yeah, that's it, Sergeant Ritchie. He worked in the quartermaster's office. Quartermaster knew what he was doing.
His name?
Enough to turn a man's stomach. Cigars. Better food than I eat. Liquor, even. He ain't prisoner. He's a guest to the governor.
Well, tell you the truth, Ollinger, I do think Wallace is coddling him too much. But he has gotten a lot of information out of the kid, though.
What about the commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Dudley? Ever hear anything to the effect that he knows?
He's a right good.
Well, my wife baked him. Brought him all the way from Indiana. Have some more.
You can take my word for it. Wallace doesn't like that kid any more than you do. He just has to act chummy with him until he learns all he can from him.
Ollinger, Billy'd like another cup of coffee, if you don't mind.
The pot's empty, but he's more than welcome to mine.
Hi, Billy. I can only get so much out of him at one time.
Well, at least most of it's checked out so far, isn't it?
Hey, Hollinger, how about that cup of coffee?
Enjoy it while you can. The hotel service ain't gonna last much longer.
What do you mean?
That as soon as the governor gets all the information he wants out of you, you're gonna be treated just like any other prisoner.
Wallace wouldn't double-cross me.
You think he lied to you or to his pal Garrett?
Is that what he said to Garrett? That he was just stringing me along?
That's right, Sonny. You'll learn.
I already have. So will Wallace.
You tell him, Mr. Governor, that if I don't get him, one of my boys will.
I will pay $1,000 to any person or persons who will capture William Bonney, alias the Kid, and deliver him to any sheriff of New Mexico Territory. Signed, Lew Wallace, Governor of New Mexico Territory. Did you have to put it on such a personal basis?
Well, there's been a lot of loose talk about that agreement I made with Billy.
I've heard some of it.
I thought maybe that'd help set the record straight. I did promise to pardon him for his earlier crimes, but I certainly didn't give him any license to keep on killing. And I'll be happy to testify against him personally when he comes to trial.
If he's caught, and if you're still around.
Meaning?
That he's leading Garrett and his men a merry chase, heading away from Santa Fe, then circling back this way. Garrett finally found out why.
All right, why?
Because the Kid has seen one of these too. And he's sworn that if it's the last thing he ever does, he's gonna kill you before they take him. Garrett sent me word.
Well, why you?
For the same reason I asked you to come here, Lou. So your family wouldn't hear anything about it.
Well, Henry's going back home. And in almost 30 years of married life, I've never been able to keep a secret from Susan.
There's no sense in making a target of yourself.
Oh, he's probably halfway to the Mexican border by this time.
Servants could hardly wait to leave here tonight. According to them, he was seen near here early this morning.
Rumors. If he was here, why would Garrett be in Lincoln County trying to pick him up?
Lou, we've got to get out of here.
I want you to leave, Susan. I've been very concerned about you.
I said we, and I don't mean next week or even tomorrow. I mean now, tonight, Lou.
Susan.
I've got a feeling in my bones that he's going to be here tonight, and you haven't even put a guard posted outside.
Well, the men I can trust are needed someplace else, and besides, this time I think you're Bones.
Lou!
It's only a piece of tumbleweed being blown across the plaza.
I'm sorry. Is Ben-Hur really more important to you than your own life?
I told you it was only a piece of tumbleweed.
This time, yes, but I still
All
have a
right,
feeling.
yes, it is more important. I've got to get this finished, Susan. Leaving here wouldn't mean that I'd be safe from a killer like the Kid. It'd only mean that I'd be wasting valuable writing time trying to escape. And if I die, this last chapter half finished, it might never be published. I'd still be remembered as the blunderer of Shiloh. This way, I may be remembered as the author of something that I feel is worthwhile.
Shiloh.
Yes, Shiloh still.
But even if you were to blame it, Shiloh, you more than made up for it at Cincinnati, at Winchester, at the Anderson...
Susan, please! I got to get it finished.
Susan, when did you come to her?
I never left.
Look, darling. It's finished. Ben-Hur is finished.
Oh, Lou, that's wonderful.
Now, if anything should happen to me, I want you to send that manuscript to Mr. Joseph Henry Harper, Franklin Square, New York City.
Pat.
You all right, sir? Ma'am?
I'm sorry it had to turn out like this. But I had to take a life.
Oh, I wouldn't feel too bad about it, Governor. You see, I'm afraid you've gotten a little rusty with a gun. You didn't come within a mile of him. It was Ed with you who got him. Shot him in the back, the way to shot you. And it wasn't Billy the Kid. He couldn't make it. It was one of his boys, like he promised.
Billy's still alive?
No, ma'am. That's what I was coming over here to tell you. I killed Billy the Kid at Fort Sumner 2 nights ago.
It seems a shame that you're leaving, now that you've got things just about cleaned up.
Yeah, the job's just about done. Now I'll have to go back to the private practice of law or something to help me pay off my debts.
Your book's still not doing so good, eh?
No, in almost 7 months it's only paid me $300.
If it was only a matter of money, Lou wouldn't be so disappointed, but we both had such high hopes for the book.
Sure you don't want me to drive you to the station?
Oh, thanks very much, Judge. Susan and I like to walk across the plaza for the last time. At least we don't have to ride in a buckboard for 2 days going home. Goodbye, Judge.
Goodbye, Governor.
Susan!
Lou!
Well, what is it, Susan? Another message from the White House to atone for my sins?
No, it's from Mr. Harper. He can't explain it, but suddenly there's come a tremendous demand for Ben-Hur. They can't keep up with the editions. He predicts it will be the most widely read story in America. Isn't it wonderful news?
Wonderful seems like a pretty weak word, Susan.
The old wound stop hurting.
Completely. For which I give thanks to you and to Ben-Hur.
This is a first edition of Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ. The edition was sold so poorly at first. Since that time, over 4 million copies have been published. And the phenomenally successful play and movies based on the book give further assurance that its author, General Lew Wallace, will long remain unforgotten. Howdy. I'm the old ranger, and Death Valley's my stamping ground. Many's the tale of adventure I'm going to tell you about the Death Valley country. True stories, mind you. I can vouch for that. This old place don't look like much now, but back in 1882, it was more important than a gold mine. And the man that made it important was a young fella by the name of Aaron Winters.
You're very beautiful, Rosie.
Oh, and you are very bold.
Why don't you say yes and be Mrs. Jeff Stevens? We could travel, go to San Francisco, visit the famous palace, go to the Baldwin Theater.
Mrs. Jeff Stevens.
Well, how about it, Rosie? What's your answer?
Aaron! Oh, Aaron, you came. I was afraid you wouldn't. You live so far away.
Oh, it's only a couple of 100 miles.
200 miles to see me, and then you sit out here whittling.
Well, I started to come in 5 sticks ago, but not knowing how to dance, I just look like a mule in a corral of racehorses.
Put your arm around me.
What for?
I'm going to make a racehorse out of that mule. They're playing a waltz. That's easy. Now just follow me. Left, 2, 3. Right, 2, 3. Left, 2, 3. Right, 2, 3. Left, 2, 3. Now you're getting it. You're doing fine. How's everything at Ash Meadows?
Oh, same as usual.
Ash Meadows. It has a lovely sound. Where did you say it was?
East of Death Valley, near the Nevada line.
Have you struck gold yet?
Not yet, but I will. I suppose you think I'm just following rainbows, huh?
No. I was just thinking how strong and determined you are. That you could have anything you set your mind on.
You shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
You should be. You kiss like an uncle.
Rosie, I'm nothing but a desert rat.
You're an Argonaut, a seeker of gold.
I have nothing to offer but prospects.
Someday you'll strike it rich.
But I love you, Rosie.
Are you sure, Aaron, that what you feel is real?
Just as sure as I know water in the desert, or a shade in the blazing sun, or green things among rocks and sand.
Oh, Aaron. Aaron.
Rosita! Ven aquí pronto.
Excuse me, but don't go away.
Qué vergüenza, for shame. A girl of your position.
Mama, please.
Mama does not please. In there, fine young men, eager to court you, men of wealth and fine families. And out here, you waste your time on that man from the desert.
Mr. Winters has just asked for my hand in marriage, Mama. And my answer is yes.
Yes.
Mama, please. There's nothing to cry about. Adios, Mama.
You're just like your father. All heart and no head. Senor Stevens would have made you the better husband.
I've always said, Senora, that you're a woman of the very finest discrimination. Aren't you going to say goodbye to me?
Goodbye.
Good luck. You're going to need it. The desert's no place for a beautiful woman. I'll give you just about a year.
Which only goes to prove that you don't know me very well. Hasta la vista. She has a gun.
She don't like visitors.
But I should think living way out here in the desert that you...
That's just why. She's etched.
Oh. Poor old creature.
Oh, Crazy Kate's not so old. She's not more than 40.
What? Oh, Aaron, drive faster.
Huh?
I want to get to Ash Meadows.
Giddy up. Rosie, darling, we're home.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Home. Oh, Aaron. This is Ash Meadows?
That's right.
But where are the meadows?
Ash Meadows. Volcanic ash. Rosie, you didn't expect green fields, did you? Oh, darn. I suppose you figured on a ranch house, too.
With a veranda all around it. Set back among trees.
That'll come when we make our strike, Donna. Then you can have everything. Would you like to come in and look around?
No. I'm your bride, Aaron. I want to be carried across the threshold of my home.
A good thing about a house like this, a feller don't have to wipe his feet when he comes in. Floor's dirt already.
Bring in my trunk and bags, Aaron, and let's start fixing things up.
I still don't see what you need all that stuff for.
To make me beautiful.
Oh, you couldn't be any more beautiful if you tried.
That's what every husband says. But other women, they notice. Aaron, except for that crazy Kate, I haven't seen another woman since I came here.
Oh, they're scarce. That's a fact.
But there are women somewhere around.
Oh, sure. Hero Phi Jones got himself a wife down near Reston Springs.
Why?
Yeah, short for Philander.
Philander.
If you think Philander's a funny name, you should hear his brothers. See, there's Alexander, Leander, Meander, and Salamander. This is the first time I've really heard you laugh out loud since you came here. You've done wonders here, Rosie.
Aaron,
Yeah?
the next time you're near Reston Springs, ask Vi Jones to bring his wife to visit with me for tea. Huh?
Sure. Anything you say.
Cream, sugar, cup, saucer, tea, cookies, napkins. Come in.
Mrs. Winters,
Yes.
I'm Vi Jones. I brung my wife like I told Aaron I would.
Oh, I'm delighted, Mr. Jones. Do ask her to come in.
Yes. I'll pick her up on my way back from Pyron.
Won't you sit down, Mrs. Philander? I mean, Mrs. Jones? It's been very warm lately, hasn't it? Tea? I suppose it gets even warmer in the summer. How hot does it get here on the desert?
Blasted hot.
Won't you try one of my cookies? I told my husband I was saving this for a special occasion, but this is a special occasion, isn't it? And sometimes a glass of wine is refreshing.
Oh, fire water.
Well, from the looks of things, you two had a real nice visit. Come on, Sunflower. Time to go home. Now, take it easy. There you are. Get to equilibrium. Thanks for the hospitality. I'll bring her back again real soon. Now, here, hold it now. There you are.
Aaron!
Sure. It shows color. But that's all it does show. Stuff ain't worth taking out.
Thanks, Seth. It's gonna be kind of hard on Rosie, though. She was sort of counting on it.
Prospector's wife don't get much babying for effect. Unless he strikes it rich.
I'll strike it. Next time.
Sure you will, Aaron. Oh, what's this? Florida water, magnolia balm, Gosma for the complexion.
Oh, it's a list Rosie gave me. It's funny the store women set by such stuff. But I won't be able to get them for her just now. Money will have to go for grub.
The desert is no place for a beautiful woman.
did the sample show? Was it as rich as you'd... Just another rainbow.
I've sworn I'd hit it this time.
Did you bring the things on my list?
Couldn't afford them. Rosie, what's got into you all of a sudden?
All of a sudden. Do you realize how long I've been living here? With no place to go? Working, dressing, almost looking like that squaw? Oh, Aaron, take me away. Take me back where it's green. There's people, music, and laughter. Take me away before I become another crazy Kate.
We can't go back this way, Rosie. I'm not whipped. Look, I got a new place to go. It's over by Funeral Mountains, near Death Valley. Now, I know that country. And I'll strike it this time, Rosie. I know I will.
Next week, the week after, next month, next year, just over the next mountain, the next valley.
And you're not mad at me?
No, Aaron. I'm not mad at you. Yet.
So, I found a rose in the desert.
Jeff!
Surprised? Pleased, I hope.
Pleased. You don't know how pleased I am. I'd be pleased to see anyone.
Well, that's not very flattering.
Oh, I mean, well, it's just that it's been so long. How's Mother and Father?
They're all fine. We were worried about you.
I guess I just forgot to write.
That's why I'm here, to find out how you're doing.
We're doing fine.
Fine. Grinding mesquite beans for flour? Living in this desert shack?
It's my husband's home.
Where thou goest, I go. Where thou lodgest, that's where I'll lodge. You must love him an awful lot to share this kind of life.
I do. Oh, go away and leave me alone. I can't stand anymore.
All you have to do is take off that wedding ring and walk out.
It would be madness.
It would be freedom. I'll go down and water my horse while you pack. I'll wait for you at the spring. It would be freedom. I love you, Rosie.
Are you sure, Aaron?
Just as sure as I know water in the desert, or shade in the blazing sun, or green things among rocks and sand.
I didn't expect you back so soon.
I came back to tell you to pack up your things and leave, Rosie.
Leave?
Yes, go home. Back where you belong.
You mean it, Aaron? You really want me to leave you?
Taken enough out of your life already. I'm not going to let you sacrifice yourself any longer. Now go home. Why, you can't.
Oh, Aaron. Aaron.
Look, I'm no good for you, Rosie. I'm nothing but a failure, a dreamer.
Oh, shh. You mustn't talk like that. What greater riches could I have than a love like yours? I'll go no place without you, my husband.
Then we'll go back together.
Look, I'm through with prospecting, Rosie. Through with the desert. We'll find a ranch near your home with green grass and trees.
And a real house on it.
Yeah, with cows and chickens.
Oh, when, Aaron, when?
Well, just as soon as we could pack up and get out of here.
Oh, it's wonderful. Don't listen to him, Aaron. Don't believe a word he says. I hadn't made up my mind. I swear I hadn't.
What are you talking about?
Him. He was just passing by and
Anybody home?
Howdy, Fi.
Why, Mr. Jones.
What brings you this way?
Been up north, on my way back home. Thought I'd drop by and tell you about the excitement up in Columbus.
Gold strike?
Better than gold.
We're not interested, Mr. Jones. We've given up prospecting.
Is that so?
No harm in hearing, Rosie. Go on, Fi.
Well, you don't have to dig for this stuff. Comes right on top of the ground.
Don't have to dig for it. Well, what's it called?
Borax.
Borax?
Yeah, it's a mineral with little white crystals, and they find it on the bottoms of the dry lake beds. And it comes in tons.
Dried lakes? Well, the desert's full of them.
Aaron, please.
And you can sell all you can get for 30 cents a pound.
30 cents?
Aaron, your promise.
I brung some of it with me. They call it cotton ball.
Funny stuff. How do you know when you got it?
Oh, easy. Easy. You just pour on a little alcohol and a little sulfuric acid and you light it. If she burns green, she's borax.
She burns green. You got any more of that stuff?
Oh, yes. You can have these. I got plenty.
No, Aaron.
Borax.
Well, I'll be getting on.
Aaron, please.
Rosie, I know where there's acres of this stuff. Over by Death Valley. Rosie!
You've made your choice, Aaron. And I've made mine.
Just once more, Rosie. This time, if I'm wrong, I'll quit. I promise.
Promise? You can't change any more than that desert can change. This is goodbye, Aaron. Don't try to stop me. And I don't want you to come with me. I couldn't leave you, Aaron. Rich or poor, I couldn't leave you.
Rosie.
Oh, Aaron!
Rosie.
Aaron!
Rosie.
We're forgetting what you came out here for. Where is this borax?
Right here, as far as you can see. I think.
Is this a piece of it?
I hope so.
Well, test it. See if it burns green.
Test it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, test it. Test it. Here, you pour from one bottle and I'll pour from the other. I'm scared, Rosie. What if it ain't?
Then we'll go on searching and dreaming. Try another one.
All right. Just a moment. She burns green, Rosie.
Aaron!
By golly, we're rich!
Aaron Winters was right, and what you see here still stands in Death Valley, marking the location of the original borax works and one of the greatest strikes in the history of the West. now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country.
There have been countless stories about the search for pearls. Stories of hardship and adventure, of violence and intrigue. But none of them has had a more fantastic ending than this one. That happened in the early 1800s, right here in our own backyard. I call it Ship of No Return. The story begins at the Cortez Hacienda near the little town of Tehuantepec, Mexico, where Don Cortez has just discovered his daughter, Manuela, in the arms of a stranger.
Who is this man?
I am Edward Peel, sir.
I have heard of him, Don Cortez. He is the British seaman who deserted his ship.
I did not desert. I only signed on as far as...
How and why you left your ship is your own affair. I am only concerned with the manner in which you have defied our customs to pay attention to my daughter.
That is my fault, Father. I was afraid that you would not...
Please do not interrupt. Senor, you are here without my permission, and I would be justified in shooting you as a trespasser. But I will reserve that pleasure in the event you try to return. Now, please go.
Father, please.
I realize how you feel, sir, but if we could just talk this over...
Talking should have been done beforehand.
I won't give her up, sir. Whether you like it or not, we're going to be married.
You would defy my wishes?
I love him, Father.
Gonzalez? Capitan Iturbi, I understand you are having difficulty in getting a crew for your ship. Here is a man I heartily recommend.
Take him to the ship, Senor Gonzalez.
No! No! Please, Father!
Manuela!
Oh, no. You're not shanghaiing me.
After him!
Eduardo! 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 Let me go! Let me go!
I will not let you throw yourself away on a worthless sailor.
But I love him! I love him!
Let me out of here!
I'd advise you to put me ashore, Captain Iturbi.
I am sorry, senor, but Don Cortez is the owner of this boat, and I am only carrying out his orders. While we are on this trip, you will be treated as one of the crew and receive the same pay. I trust you will be wise enough to accept the situation.
He will accept it, mi Capitan. Or he will accept this. You have 5 minutes to eat your food. Then we will see what kind of a sailor you are.
Kiori hear men talk. Tell why you on ship. Too bad.
You speak English.
Speak good. Padre teach me. Name Kiori.
What kind of a ship is this?
Pearl ship.
Pearl ship?
We go Golfo, California. Bring up oyster. Take pearl. Kiori diver.
How long will we be gone?
Oh, depend on pearl. Maybe 4 months, maybe long time.
4 months. Do we stop at any ports, villages?
No ports, no villages.
But we do come close to land.
Oh, we come close plenty time. But no good you leave ship.
Why?
No place go. Mountain, desert, very bad. Leave ship,
maybe die quick. Kiori have girl one time like you. Take away, never see again. Know how you feel here. Very sorry.
Thank you, shipmate. Manuela, I have waited patiently for 2 weeks for you to get over this infatuation for this Englishman. Now I order you to forget him.
Order? Love is not like a candle, Father, that you can light and put out with an order.
Nor should it be like a blindfold, which prevents you from seeing the duty you owe to your family. You are a Cortez, Manuela. Now don't
Please, Father, I have a headache. I'm going to my room.
You will return to your guests and do what is expected of you.
Come in. What is it, senor?
Kiori tells me that divers are allowed to keep every 11th pearl they find.
That is correct. The first 10 to the ship and the next 1 to the diver.
I'd like to be a diver, sir.
1 pearl out of every 11 does not mean you will go back rich, Senor Pearl.
At least it will give me a chance to go back with something.
That is true. And if you are fortunate, who knows? I admire a man who makes the most out of his situation, senor. Particularly one that is not of his own choosing. If Kiori will teach you, you have my permission.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, there is a ship's rule. While we are anchored at the pearl beds, divers are relieved of ship's duty.
Yes, sir.
What Captain say?
He said yes, if you'll teach me.
I teach.
Stand by to lower sail. Drop anchor. Yo, get forward on the anchor chain. Give him a hand. All right, let's go. All right, let's go. Get those boats over. It's a good day for diving, and we want to make the most of it.
Very pretty country, eh, amigo? If you think maybe you'd like to walk back to the senorita, now's a good time to go, eh?
The divers can handle their own gear. Go forward and coil the anchor line. I'm talking to you, Englishman!
You should find out who you can give orders to, amigo. A pearl ship is anchored at the beds. Divers are relieved of all ship's duty.
Who said you were a diver?
Captain Iturbi.
Why did you not tell me before?
I was just waiting for a chance, amigo.
Bianco and Lucas have another, Capitan.
We've got another!
Senor Beale and Chiori, number 3.
No more.
I'll get some more from the canoe.
No more in canoe.
Out of oysters already, eh? And the others are just getting started. You better get yourself a partner, Chiori, who can bring up his own share, or you won't get enough out of this trip to buy a bottle of vino.
Spot we've hit. Twice as much shell down there, and bigger. Doesn't look like these beds have ever been worked.
1 month ago, Chiori afraid you not be diver. Now think like diver, talk like diver. Make better diver than Chiori.
You're a good teacher.
You have good reason to learn.
Looks like they're in for a blow.
Storm come quick in Gulfo.
We'd better get back to the ship.
Have you noticed me, Capitan? The pearls are getting bigger as we move up the Gulf.
See, and more plentiful. I do not think that many ships come this far north. Right now, Senor Gonzalez, we now have almost twice as many pearls as we got the last time. And we've only been out half as long.
It's too bad that they're not ours. We would never have to go to sea again.
Such thoughts only make one unhappy.
See? But sometimes it is difficult not to think them.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you not diving? Because I don't like the looks of the weather.
Weather?
Yes, sir. There's a storm coming up. It's closing in faster.
Senor Gonzalez, you better call in the other boats.
But me, Capitan, it
Call
is
them
nothing.
in.
Chiori, call in the other boats.
We better set a course along the coast toward the mouth of the Colorado River. Should find sheltered water there.
See me, Capitan.
Take another reef in the foresail. I'll give you the orders. Then you'd better give it before the foresail carries away. Reef the foresail. Give him a hand.
You've got some cracked ribs, partner. I better get something to bind you up with.
1 minute, a hurricane is blowing. Then suddenly the wind stops, and the sea is as smooth as glass. It is not possible. Everywhere I look, nothing but land. Did you see anything from up on the mast, Senor Peel?
Nothing but land on all sides. The main body of water is at least 10 miles away.
No channel?
Nothing. But there may be a way out that I've missed. I'd like to take a boat and search the shoreline.
Yes, yes. Good idea. Take any men you need.
Yes, sir. You men, come with me.
Stand by the lower boat.
There's no way out, Captain. We're on an inland sea that was formed by the wave that carried us here.
We watched the shore. This I can understand. But waves large enough to wash a ship over 10 miles of land?
There is a channel someplace. It is only you did not find it.
There is no channel. We'll have to abandon ship and try to get back on foot.
It is nearly 300 miles to the nearest settlement. How far do you think we will get in a desert like this?
Farther than a ship on a landlocked sea.
Senor Peel is right. It is better to take a desperate chance than no chance at all. Firearms will be issued and each man will carry his own rations. I would suggest that we travel together. But once ashore, each man will make his own decision. We will start at daylight. You will please stay, Senor Gonzalez. It is not a good feeling for a capitan to lose his ship, Senor Gonzalez. Hold this, please. My one consolation is this fortune in pearls. If anything happens to me, I'm depending on you to see that Don Cortez gets them.
You can trust me, mi Capitan.
Has anybody left the ship?
No, sir. We're ready to shove off now.
Well, no man leaves until he's been searched. Open up your gear and spread it on the deck.
What's wrong, Captain?
The pearls have been stolen from my cabin. Gonzalez? Where is Senor Gonzalez?
I haven't seen him this morning. I thought he was with you.
Are any boats missing?
Yes, sir. There's one adrift near the shore. We thought it had broken loose.
Gonzalez. Get the men into the boats. Hold the last one for me.
All right, men, into the boats. Lively now. Let's go. Shipmate, we're ready to shove off now.
You're no go.
Not go?
Still much hurt. No can walk.
Well, then I'll carry you.
Not carry far in desert. You go. Maybe 2-3 week I follow.
2 or 3 weeks, but you can't.
Take Pearl for Kiori. If I not come back, give to Senorita.
Captain?
I'm ready.
I'm not leaving, sir.
What?
Kiori's not able to walk, so I'm staying with him.
We can make a litter. The men can take turns carrying him.
You yourself said once we hit the beaches, it's going to be every man for himself.
But if you stay here...
He thinks he'll be able to walk in a few weeks. After all he's done for me, the least I can do is stand by and give him what help I can.
You are a man of great courage, Senor Peel. I'm sorry I had any part in bringing you aboard this ship. Good luck.
Same to you, Captain. And I hope you catch up with Gonzalez.
he will not get far.
Well, this is what I call pretty fancy, partner. Bunking in the captain's cabin, eating the captain's food, and drinking the captain's wine. Nothing like enjoying yourself while you can. Down the hatch. Sounds like somebody on the deck. Evidently, he never left.
Never left?
No, he just wanted the captain to think he had, so he could follow along behind and let them lead him out of here. Hey, look.
What you say is true, Padre. I did have Senor Peel forcibly taken on the Pearl ship, but I only meant to be rid of him. I meant him no physical harm. When Capitani Turby returned and told me what had happened, I was deeply grieved.
None of us can see the far-reaching consequences of an act, my son. That is why we must try to live beyond reproach.
I know, Padre, I know, but I only did what any man in my position would have done. You know our customs.
Customs should never be an excuse for intolerance. Because love does not recognize barriers and restrictions does not in itself make it wrong.
I realize that now. When I sent him away, I was thinking only of myself. If there were only something I could do to make amends, Manuela.
There is, my son. Oh, señores.
Eduardo! Eduardo!
These belong you.
Pearls? How did you get them?
Long story. Senor Peel tell later. Right now, busy.
And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. It's the year 1871 in the famous old mining camp of Virginia City, Nevada. And a wedding celebration is in progress as our story opens. I call it Sixth Sense. May I have the pleasure?
No, thank you.
Well, perhaps I should introduce myself. I'm Steve McIntyre, the new superintendent at the Yellow Jacket Mine. That's a mighty tantalizing tune they're playing.
I don't dance.
I don't believe it. Please.
And I'm blind.
Well, forgive me. I had no idea. Suppose we sit it out then and just talk.
I don't feel like talking.
Hobson, who was that blind girl?
Susie Jarvis.
How long has she been that way?
Well, it happened about 3 years ago. There was an accident. Her folks were killed in it. I guess she's wished many times that she'd been killed in it, too.
Well, how does she get along?
The town looks after her. Mrs. Prentice gives her a room, and she gets her meals at Mrs. Wimmer's boarding house.
I think I'll start getting my meals at Mrs. Wimmer's, too. Mind if I sit here? I'm a new boarder.
You don't have to, Mr. McIntyre.
So you recognize my voice.
Here, my dear, I buttered a biscuit for you. And here's some nice stew. I'll get some vegetables for you in just a minute.
Thank you.
Mrs. Wimmer's a good friend, isn't she? At least her intentions are kind.
What do you mean by that?
She treats you as if you were helpless.
I am.
Are you?
You know I am. And you needn't look at me like that.
You're really amazing. Tell me.
I don't want to talk about myself.
And yet that's all you think about. Well, you spend your life, as far as I can see, just sitting back.
What else can I do?
Well, you could at least be friendly. Give a fellow a smile.
When he goes out of his way deliberately to insult me, remind me I'm handicapped.
Now, wait a minute. You're not going to walk out on me again.
I don't want any dinner.
After someone has cooked it for you, served it to you, paid for it? Now, you eat your stew like a good girl before it gets cold. Come in. Susie.
Are you alone, Mr. McIntyre?
Yep, all alone. Come in.
Thank you. I've been thinking about what you said at supper last night.
Well, I'm afraid I was a bit rough.
Oh, no. It was just what I needed to jolt me. Oh, Mr. McIntyre, I would like to be able to do something to make myself useful, but what can I do without eyes?
Well, how about learning telegraphy?
Telegraphy?
It calls for keen ears. You certainly have those. The way you can recognize voices and sounds,
and sensitive fingers. You have something else, too, that's denied to those of us who can see. It's a sort of a sixth sense, you might call it.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, the way you came into this room just now.
Yes?
Now, you sensed that chair was in your path before you even touched it.
Oh, yes.
You sense people's moods before they even speak. There's no reason in the world why you shouldn't make a first-class operator.
But would anybody hire a blind one?
You prove you've got the stuff, and there'll be a job for you.
Stuff. All right, I'll give it a try.
H. ...
H. ...
I. ...
I ...
Good, now we'll go over it again. F. ...
F ... C ... No. C... D... ...
What are you doing, Susie?
Learning Morse code.
The Morse code?
It's Steve's idea. Mr. McIntyre's.
Well, and not a bad one. Go ahead. Don't let me interrupt.
J... ... K...
No. K is dash dot dash.
K... ... Yeah. Now L is dash.
No. L is a long dash.
Steve, I just can't do it. I tried, but I can't.
What you need is a day off. Say, how about taking a drive with me up to the divide? Oh, I have to go up there anyway to look over some ground.
Oh, Steve, I'd love it. This used to be my favorite view.
It's marked by telegraph poles now, and wires shining in the sun. Why, you'll be sending messages over those wires before long, Susie. Down to Carson Valley and over the Sierras to Placerville and Sacramento.
I wonder.
Oh, I'm sure of it. And the day you get that job, we're going to celebrate. We'll have dinner together at the International Hotel. Oysters and champagne. Is it a date?
It's a date.
Mr. Lynn. Hello, Steve. Welcome back, Steve. My daughter, Mary. Steve McIntyre, my dear, superintendent of our mine. A great pleasure.
How do you do? So, this is Virginia City.
Is your first visit here?
Yes.
Mary's just out of finishing school back east. Well, I'm afraid you'll find this quite a contrast.
I hope so.
A man for breakfast every morning. That's the rule out here, huh, Steve? Well, not since the vigilantes got busy.
Oh, dear. What about dinner then? Tonight?
I was just about to invite him myself, Mary. I'd be honored, sir. Good. Now let's get out to the mine as soon as we can. There's a lot of work to be done. Send our things to the hotel, please.
My, you sure look pretty, Miss Susie. Where are you going?
Out with Steve to celebrate my new job. Oh, here he comes now.
How do you know it's him?
By his footsteps.
Hello, Susie.
Hello, Steve. Did you get my message at the office?
No, I've been at the mine all day. What was it?
Well, I got a job, Steve.
Susie, no. Tell me.
Well, it isn't here in Virginia City, but at least it's nearby, just down the mountain in Dayton. Steve, I took a test.
And passed with flying colors.
Oh, Susie, I'm so proud of you. I knew you could do it.
She's wonderful. But don't you go getting her all mussed up just before you take her out to dinner.
Dinner? Oh, our celebration. Susie, I'm terribly sorry, but I've already made other plans for tonight. I came here to tell Mrs. Wilmer I couldn't stay for dinner. If I'd only gotten your message sooner.
Oh, that's all right.
I'd break this other engagement, but it's with my boss, Mr. Lent.
Well, I understand, Steve.
We'll do it tomorrow night. How's that?
I'm afraid that'll be too late. I'm leaving on the morning stage.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'll be at the stage to see you off. Good night.
Good night.
There's a nice German restaurant down the street, Miss Susie. Not as classy as the International Hotel, but the food's good. And if you can stand the company of a Wells Fargo detective...
Thank you, Mr. Hobson, but I do feel rather tired. I think I'll just stay in tonight.
Goodbye, Susie, and good luck. I'll be thinking of you.
Thank you, Steve, for everything.
All aboard.
Good morning.
Why, hello, Mary.
Am I in time to mail a letter?
Sure, Miss Lent. I'll give it to the driver.
Thank you. I couldn't wait, Steve, to write back east and tell about my first dinner in Virginia City. Champagne and oysters. They'll never believe it.
Throw down that strong box.
It's a holdup.
All right, come on out of there. Come on, shake a leg, sister. We ain't got all day. Where you carrying the rest of your money?
That's all I've got.
Now look, sister. You see this gun?
No, I don't.
Now don't get funny.
She's telling the truth. She's blind.
Blind. All right, go on, get back inside. Here. Here's your purse. All right, get going. Yeah.
Stage held up near Black Mountain by 2 road agents. Took Strongbox. Susie Jarvis.
They didn't get much of a haul, that's one good thing.
But when we ship out the spring cleanup...
That's still some weeks off, Steve. And they'll have no way of knowing which stage it goes out on.
I'm glad at least nobody got hurt.
Hello, you two.
Oh, Mary.
Are you ready? Steve's taking me to dinner in the theater tonight.
Then I won't keep him any longer. You go right along.
Her first official message.
Good night, Father.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good morning.
Good morning. May I help you, sir?
Is there a message here for Clanton?
Clanton. James Clanton?
That's right.
Yes, it came in about a half hour ago.
Good.
How do you like this weather we're having?
Doesn't bother me. I can take it or leave it. Come on, hurry up, sister.
Here it is.
Good.
Any answer?
Nope, no answer.
For a big gold shipment from mine.
How does she know?
I couldn't say. Well, we're taking no chances. I'm putting 2 armed riders with that stage, and I'll be inside with Hobson.
You?
If they take this gold, they're going to have to take me with it.
Wait. Outriders. They wouldn't have a chance.
Oh, thank goodness you got through all right. I was so afraid you might not get my message in time.
How did you know?
A wire that came in. Here's a copy of it.
Listen to this, Dave. Your spring jacket cleaned and packed out today. Hope you get it safely, Mother.
I thought at the time it was a strange message, and then after I realized who Clanton was, I began to figure it out. It could only mean the spring cleanup from the Yellow Jacket mine.
Oh, bless you, Susie. I always said you had a sixth sense.
She should be the detective. Do you think you'd recognize this fellow again?
Oh, anywhere. There's no mistaking his voice.
Well, we'll let you prove it. Now, his partner hangs out of Virginia City, that's certain, and tips him off. Now, Clanton will be coming around here again, Susie, for more messages from him.
Uh-huh.
And when he does...
I'll be right on hand, waiting for him. Aren't you working pretty late this evening, Miss Susie?
Mr. Hobson, every time that door opens, I hold my breath. There was a fellow who came in here yesterday that walked exactly like that outlaw.
You know, I never get over marveling at you.
The change in me?
In just a few weeks, you've become a seasoned telegraph operator.
Steve deserves all the credit. Oh, when I think of what I was like when he first met me. But he started me out on a whole new life. He gave me hope and courage and...
Hello.
Steve!
So you haven't forgotten me.
Of course not. We were just talking about you. Or there's somebody with you. A lady.
What did I tell you? And you never said a word.
But her skirt rustled.
I'm Mary Lynn. Steve's told me so much about you.
How do you do?
You look real elegant in your ball gown, Miss Mary.
Oh, yes, it's beautiful.
Don't often see soup and fish around here, Steve. Where to?
Oh, we're down here for Senator Tyler's shindig.
We're so thrilled, aren't we, Steve?
I understand it's going to be a wonderful affair.
Any news of our man?
Not yet.
Yeah, he may have smelled a rat.
He'll turn up, sooner or later.
Just thought I'd drop in and ask.
Goodbye, Miss Jarvis. I'm so glad to have met you.
It was nice to have seen you.
Bye, Susie. See you later, Dave.
They'll make a handsome couple at the ball. Funny. First time Steve ever spoke to me was to ask me to dance. I refused. I wish now I'd said yes.
Howdy.
Good afternoon.
I'm expecting a telegram.
What is the name, please?
Tuttle, Frank Tuttle.
I think there is a wire that came in this morning, Mr. Tuttle. As I remember, it was from Virginia City. Yes, I'm sure of it. Now, where did I put it?
I hope you haven't mislaid it.
Here it is.
Why, this is blank.
But this ain't. You're under arrest.
What for?
Holding up and robbing the Virginia City stage on November 16th last.
I never held up a stagecoach in my life. You've made a mistake.
There's no mistake. I was a passenger on the stage that trip, and I recognize you.
Recognize? You mean you take the word of a blind girl?
When it's Miss Susie's, I sure would, mister.
There is no doubt but what folks without sight develop keener ears than the rest of us. But to convict a prisoner simply on the strength of this young lady's recognizing his voice...
It is contrary to all the laws of justice.
I'm inclined to agree.
Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. McIntyre. Mr. Hobson, but the evidence is not sufficient. I will have to release Mr. Clanton.
Here, get these things off of me.
Just a moment, Your Honor. There's something else that I just remembered. At the time of the holdup, when the bandit handed me back my purse, my fingers touched his wrist. There was a jagged scar on it. Well, if you don't believe me, look for yourself.
Lock him up.
Good for you, Susie.
It just came in, Steve. So before you go, let's have the presentation.
You do the honors, Dave.
Miss Susie, on behalf of Wells Fargo, here's a check for $5,000.
What?
The reward that was offered for the arrest of Clanton.
$5,000?
And you earned every penny of it.
You did indeed. Oh, Susie, I'm so happy for you.
All aboard, Virginia City.
Oh, Steve, we better go. Goodbye, Susie. Goodbye, Mary.
Goodbye, Susie.
Steve, I just wanted to thank you again for everything you've ever done for me. How can I ever repay you?
By wishing me luck.
Oh, I do, Steve. With all my heart. She's the perfect wife for you.
God bless you, Susie.
I guess I got no further excuse to hang around here. A nice nest egg that'll make for you, that $5,000. You put it in the bank now and you'll never have to worry.
But I'm not going to keep it for myself. I'm going to use it to help other blind folks learn what I've learned. Oh, it doesn't have to be telegraphy, but anything that will help them to be useful and happy. Bring them out of the darkness.
Well, that makes it a lot easier for me. I'd hate to have anybody think I was going to marry you for your money.
Why, Mr. Hobson.
I love you, Susie. How could I help it? All the weeks I've been here, looking at you, talking with you.
But
I'd be the proudest man in the world if you'd be my wife. I'm not much to look at, just an old flatfoot.
But you're good, Dave. And kind. I'd be proud to be your wife.
Susie.
And so our story ends the same way it began, with wedding bells ringing in the old mining camp of Virginia City. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. Our story tonight is dedicated to the mail carriers of the United States, in memory of one of the most remarkable and heroic men who ever performed this service, Snowshoe Thompson. It is a December night in 1855. In the general store of Placerville, a gold camp on the slopes of the snow-covered Sierras, Jim Singleton, the storekeeper, is just announcing the engagement of his niece Agnes to a young Norwegian-born rancher, John Thompson.
To the future Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, a long life and a happy one. Hey, Fred Daniels, Mr. Mining Recorder, glasses up.
Just because the best man won,
you keep out of this.
Major Chorpenning.
With the mail from the east.
You're almost 2 weeks overdue.
I'm lucky to be here at all. I'll go out and unpack for you. There's nothing to unpack.
Where's the mail?
Somewhere in the Sierras.
You left the mail up there?
I left more than that up there. My partner, Ab Woodward, scalped by Injun. Last time I ever tried to cross those mountains in winter, snow 30 to 40 feet deep, and cold. Our pack animals all froze. This is my last run.
What about your contract with the government?
They can't hold me to it. The job's impossible.
It pays good money, $1,200 a trip.
With your choice of freezing to death, or being scalped, or being caught by an avalanche. Nope, I'm all finished.
Nobody will blame you, Major.
But it will be disappointing not getting news from the east. Letters piling up just the other side of the Sierras.
What it actually means is that we'll be cut off from all overland communication with the States.
Then suppose you try it, Mr. Daniels.
I was just stating a fact.
It's getting late, John.
I'll see you home.
When do you two plan to be married?
As soon as I get a house built on my ranch.
He's already started cutting the timber for it. I'm going out there tomorrow.
It should be finished by spring.
Oh, that's nice. Good night.
Good night.
I have a cherry bureau which belonged to my mother, and a platform rocker, and a lovely walnut sideboard that came all the way around the horn. We can add to them, John, as we, John, you're not listening.
I was thinking about Chorpenning abandoning the mail service. It seems a pity.
But if it's impossible for him to get across the mountains, John.
Men in Norway travel the mountains in winter, in snow as deep as the Sierras, cold even more intense. On skis. I had my first pair as soon as I could walk.
Skis? What do they look like?
I haven't seen any since I came to this country as a boy of 10, but I remember them perfectly. I'm going to try it.
Try what?
To make a pair of skis.
With the crude tools at hand, John plunged into making a pair of skis from memory. Work on his honeymoon house pushed into the background by the challenge of conquering those high Sierra snows. Hour after hour, chip by chip, they slowly took shape, and at last were finished with turned-up peaks like the prows on Viking ships. They were big and clumsy looking, and being of green wood, they were pretty heavy, but that didn't bother him any. Smearing burnt cork on his cheeks to protect his eyes from the glare of the sun on the snow, he took his skis to the nearby slopes. Results at first were a little discouraging, but he stuck to it, practicing and practicing until he was satisfied he could accomplish what he wanted to on them. Then...
You're proposing to cross the Sierras on them things?
Yeah.
Alone?
Yeah. The mail on your back?
John, it's suicide. You'll never make it.
Let him try since he's so all-fired sure.
There's nothing to be afraid of, darling.
Nothing. Blizzards and avalanches.
You forget. My ancestors were Vikings.
You can get lost. The trails will be buried out of sight.
I'll have the rocks and trees to guide me by day and the stars by night.
Gentlemen, I'm taking bets. On what day in spring the body will be found. Step right up and...
Stop it, Fred.
That sack of mail weighs a good 75 pounds, according to the store scales.
That'll save some weight.
But what if you need it? You might run...
Don't worry. Where's your blanket? I won't need any.
You'll need food.
I have some crackers and dried meat in my pocket.
Snowshoe Thompson, the great Viking.
No. Goodbye.
By sundown, John Thompson was fighting his way up the first slope of the Sierras. All night he climbed, and all the next day. Eating as he went, washing the food down with handfuls of snow. Around midnight of the second night, he reached the summit and started on the downward grade. It was late in the afternoon of the third day when he reached the Carson Valley and skied into the little settlement of Genoa.
Anyone tell me where I can find the postmaster?
Well, yes, I'm the postmaster. Hey, is that mail you have on your back?
Yes, sir.
Well, where you from, son?
From Placerville.
Placerville?
Here you are, sir.
You came all the way on foot?
Well, yes and no. I came on these skis.
Those oversized barrel staves?
That's right.
How long did it take you?
3 days.
3 days?
Mister, the drinks are on me.
Thanks, but all I want is some sleep.
I can take care of that, too. There's a bunk in the back room.
Good. If you folks have any mail to go west...
I got a big pile of it.
I'll be leaving first thing in the morning.
Man alive. Can I ask you something, mister? What's your name?
Well, just call me Snowshoe Thompson.
Over 5,000 claims filed this past year, at $1 a claim.
Why, that means you've made over $5,000.
That's right. And all without budging outside my office. And I'll make more next year. People coming in all the time. Agnes, I tell you that...
He's back! John's back!
Oh, John, you're safe. Thank goodness. I've been so worried about you.
So you couldn't make it. You had to turn back.
Turn back? Nothing. You made a round trip.
I don't believe it.
In less than a week? Impossible.
Maybe this will convince you.
A letter from my sister in Missouri.
Here's a shopping list a woman in Genoa gave me. She wants some turkey red and thread to match.
The mountain labored and brought forth the spool of thread.
Was it terrible going, John?
The trip east was the slow one. That took 3 days. But coming back, the climb is shorter and there's a longer downhill run. I made that in 2 days.
Imagine. And your penning was over 2 weeks.
Next time I'll know better what's ahead.
You're going again?
Sure he is. To deliver the thread to the lady in Genoa.
If I don't, there'll be no mail delivered all winter.
That's all right. We'll wait and be married a few months later.
I knew you'd understand.
And so Snowshoe Thompson began making regular runs across the Sierras between California and Nevada. It didn't matter what the weather. He started out just the same and always came through on time. He traveled always as he had that first trip, unarmed and without a blanket. If he camped for the night, he hunted himself a stump of a dead pine tree and set fire to it, and lay down with his head pillowed on Uncle Sam's mail sack. The sacks he carried sometimes weighed as much as 90 pounds, a load that would have broken the backs of most men climbing up those heights. It wasn't all mail either. Folks asked him to do errands for them. Once he even carried a small printing press across the Sierras for the Genoa newspaper. When spring came and the snows melted, there was no longer need of Snowshoe Thompson. Others with pack animals could carry the mail.
I'm so proud of you, John. Job you've done. Now we can be married. I mean, as soon as the house is built on the ranch. What's the matter, John? You haven't changed your mind.
Oh, no, Agnes. I love you more than ever. It's just that I haven't any money. Not a cent.
But what about your pay for carrying the mail?
I haven't collected any. The fact is, I clean forgot to make a deal or ask for a contract.
Oh, John.
I'll make up for it this summer. Mr. Colwell, a friend of mine in the Sacramento Valley, has offered me a job on his ranch. I'll save every penny I earn, and then in the fall we'll build our house. Will that be all right with you?
It'll have to be, I guess. Yes, of course, John.
But when fall came, a group of citizens from Placerville called upon Thompson at his ranch.
You're the only man the country can do it, Snowshoe.
And if you don't, it means being without mail all winter, except what comes a long way around by ship.
Not just us in Placerville, but the folks in all the gold camps. That stretch across the Sierra is the one missing link in the overland mail.
Snow's getting deep up there already. And you'll do it? There's only one thing. I just can't afford to do it for nothing like I did last winter.
No reason why you should.
All you've got to do is tell the postal supervisor in San Francisco. He'll see that you're taken care of.
Good. That's all I wanted to know.
Thompson didn't get around to writing the supervisor until the winter was half over. He was so busy making his weekly trips over the mountains. And when he finally got an answer towards spring...
It seems Chorpenning still holds the government contract to carry mail between Salt Lake and the coast. Only now he's carrying it on the southern route, looping down by way of San Bernardino to San Diego.
But that doesn't go anywhere near Carson Valley.
But it is mail service to the coast. They can't very well give the contract to two parties.
So you spent another winter without pay.
I guess I'll have to hire myself out to Colwell again.
And we'll have to postpone our wedding for another year. Well, anyway, the timber for our house will be well seasoned.
But when another winter rolled around, it was the same story. Snowshoe Thompson had by now become an institution. They couldn't get along without him. So once more he bridged the gap in the overland mail route, a one-man link completing that 3,000-mile chain.
I'm sorry, Fred, but that's the evening John is due back from Genoa, and I want to save it for him.
How much longer are you going to let that fella keep you dangling? It's going on 4 years now.
I agree with you, Fred. She's wasting her time waiting for him.
He hasn't even given you a ring yet, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Well, if you want one, a big diamond, you know where you can get it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Agnes, you're a fool. Here's one of the best fixed young men in Placerville anxious to marry you.
Please, Aunt Lizzie.
And you stay engaged to that John Thompson.
I love him.
I grant you he can ski, but as a husband and a provider, all he's got is a mortgage ranch with no house on it.
Give him time.
Time? Agnes, a girl can't wait forever.
I'll talk with him.
The very minute he gets back from Genoa.
Yes, Aunt Lizzie, the very minute he gets back.
With another round trip to Genoa almost over, John skied steadily toward Placerville and Agnes, his personal problems far outweighing the mail sack on his back.
They're right. It isn't fair to keep you waiting like this. The wonder of it is that you've waited this long.
Oh, John.
The only problem is the same old problem.
Money? John, I have good news for you. Uncle Jim said he'd give you a job in the store for the summer at good pay.
In the store?
Yes, we can get married right away this spring, live here in Placerville, move out to the ranch later.
Well, that's mighty kind of him, and I do appreciate it, but well, the thought of working indoors all summer, inside four walls.
So you are stalling?
Oh, darling, no.
You don't want to marry me. You never have.
Agnes.
You care more for the wind, the sky, and the snow than you do for me.
No, no.
The mountains, they're your real love.
Sweetheart, wait.
Wait, that's all I've been doing for 3 years, with everybody gossiping, feeling sorry for me, trying to stand up for you to my family, turning down other men. Well, I'm all through.
Agnes, please. I can't stand it seeing you cry. Of course I'll accept your uncle's offer.
You will?
And we'll be married.
When?
The winter's almost over. In a few weeks now, the passes over the Sierras will be open again and I can quit the mail service. Say the first week in April?
Is that a promise?
I promise.
Well, as luck would have it, spring was late in coming that year, and the snows which should have begun to disappear on the mountains showed no signs of melting. Snowshoe Thompson was on the western run, heading for Placerville and his wedding, when he stopped at a cabin in a mountain valley.
Jake? Oh, Jake! I've got that tobacco for you. Help! 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 Help!
Thank God. I prayed you'd come.
What's wrong?
Legs. Frozen. I've been laying here for 12 days. Living on raw flour. No matches to light a fire with. I made up my mind to wait one more day. And then I...
You won't need it, my friend. I'll build a fire and cook you some grub. Then I'll ski down to Genoa, fetch a sled that we can move you on. Down to a doctor.
Leaving the miner as comfortable as possible under the circumstances, John headed for Genoa.
You're sure you won't wait until daylight?
I gotta get that poor fella down here. Look for us day after tomorrow.
That'll be Tuesday.
Yes. Doc, you'll be on hand because he's in bad shape.
I'll be here.
Is it really true you set the date?
Of course it's true. My wedding dress is finished and the wedding cake is baked.
I'll believe it when I see a ring on your finger.
Then come to the house this Thursday evening. The ceremony's at 8 o'clock.
Meanwhile, John's thoughts were a long way from the wedding, as he faced the superhuman task of dragging the sled with the suffering miner over the rugged mountains between him and Genoa. The fact that he made it is only another tribute to a man whose strength and courage are a legend.
Nothing to do but operate. I expected it. All right. Go ahead. Trouble is, I've got no chloroform. Don't need chloroform. Just give me a bottle of whiskey. In some cases, that would be all right, but in your weakened condition, the shock of the operation would be too severe without anesthetic. I'll go get some. I'm afraid that's impossible. The nearest place would be Sacramento.
Can he wait 5 days?
That isn't the question.
Maybe I can make it back and forth with no pack on my back.
Oh, now look, son. You've been on those skis for 3 days and nights without any rest.
I'll be back as fast as I can. By Saturday or Sunday.
Now, don't you let John see you beforehand. It's bad luck.
I guess Uncle Jim must have warned him, because he hasn't been near the house since he got back.
Fact of the matter is, he ain't back yet.
Why, he was due in yesterday at the latest. Why didn't you say something before now?
Didn't want to worry you.
He probably had an extra heavy load, being his last trip. He'll be here. He promised.
Well, the bridegroom. Where you been? It's almost time for your wedding.
Had to go to Sacramento for some chloroform for the doc in Genoa. On my way back with it now. Fellow there with frozen legs fighting gangrene. Every minute counts. Tell Agnes, will you?
Sure.
I can't believe it. Here in Placerville and not letting me know. Leaving town an hour before his wedding.
I saw him. Talked with him.
And he gave no reason?
Too much of a hurry to get away.
That don't sound like John.
Whoa!
It's the Grimeses. They always get places early.
I'll tell him Agnes has been took sick. The wedding has been postponed.
No. Tell them the wedding has been called off for good.
Agnes!
I would marry John Thompson now if he was the last man on earth.
Here's the chloroform, Doctor.
God bless you, Sparcher. I don't know of any other fella that would have done it. No other fella could have done it. You get some rest now, or I'll have 2 patients on my hands.
I've got to get back to Placerville.
What if the mail is late for once?
It's not this mail I'm worried about, Doctor. It's this mail. I was supposed to be married 2 days ago.
If you ask me, he's got another girl in Genoa.
Please. I don't even want to talk about him.
And let's talk about us. I love you, Agnes. Have for a long time. I can give you everything.
Why I couldn't stop. The doc was waiting to operate. That man would have died of blood poisoning, both legs frozen.
Is that true, Fred?
First I've heard of it.
You lie. Tell her you lied. Tell her. I'll break every bone in your body. All right.
I lied, Agnes.
I'm so ashamed, John. To think I could have ever doubted you. Will you forgive me?
I've made my last run, darling. I'm all through, I swear it.
Oh, no, you're not. You could no more stay out of those mountains than an eagle could. It's your world. You belong there.
I belong with you. Welcome home, Snowshoe.
Welcome
Home is right.
I guess this is as good a time as any, seeing as we've got you 2 here together. Jim, get it out of the safe. We all got to think of Snowshoe, of the raw deal you've had. Carrying mail winter after winter for nothing. So we passed the hat.
Not only here in Placerville, but around the diggings and all the camps where you deliver letters and papers.
We can't pay you for what it's been worth to us. Anyway, there's enough to pay off your mortgage and build your house. It's our wedding present to you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Snowshoe Thompson carried the mails over the Sierras for 20 winters. He died at his ranch at the age of 49 and lies buried beside his wife and son in the little cemetery in Genoa, where the mountains he loved and braved look down upon his last camping place. The father of skiing in the United States, and worthy forerunner of those couriers whom neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays from the swift completion of their rounds.
ড্রেস চেঞ্জ করতেছিস? চেঞ্জ করিস না, চল একটা টিকটক বানাই। টিকটক? হ্যাঁ টিকটক, চল।
স্যার নর্মাল আছে প্রেশার, নিচেরটা 80, উপরটা আছে 120। ঠিক।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
খামটা দে।
স্যার এটা কি আশ্চর্য দেখছিস, 1000 টাকা দিল প্রেশার মারতে। তাও
তুই জানিস উনি কে? উনি শহরে অনেক বড় ধনী লোক। এমন কোনো মসজিদ মাদ্রাসা নাই যে উনি দান করেন নাই। এমনকি আমাদের এই হাসপাতালও ওনার চ্যারিটি হেল্প ছিল।
ও ভালো লোক।
ড্রেস চেঞ্জ করতেছিস? চেঞ্জ করিস না, চল একটা টিকটক বানাই। টিকটক? হ্যাঁ টিকটক, চল। ঠিক আছে, এই ড্রেসটা পরবো, এটা পর।
আচ্ছা আপনি ওই দিন আপনার আম্মার সামনে আমার লগে এরকম ব্যবহার করছেন কেলা?
আমার ইচ্ছে হয়েছে আমি করছি, আর আমার পিছে ঘুরে লাভ নাই।
কেলা? আমি আপনার ভালোবাসি না, করবো না কেলা।
বেহায়া মেয়ে রে বাবা, তোমার তো আমি ক্লিয়ার করে বলছি যে আমি তোমার বিয়ে করব না।
আরে আপনার আম্মাই তো আমার পছন্দ করছো, তো আপনি শাদি করবেন না কেলা?
তাহলে তারই বিয়েটা করো।
জি জি জি, আস্তাগফিরুল্লাহ, কি কইতাছেন? আমি আপনার আম্মারে কেলা শাদি করব? আমি তো আপনার শাদি করব। আর আপনি যদি আমার শাদি না করছেন তাহলে কয়ে দিলাম ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম আমার হাতে লিখুন।
তোমার যা ইচ্ছা তুমি তাই করো, আমি একদমই ভয় পাই না। আগের বার মাইনা নিছি, খেলা ছিল দেখা, এটা খেলা না, এটা আমার জীবন। আমি জীবন নিয়ে ছেলে খেলা করতে পারবো না।
আমি হাঁচা হাঁচা কইতেছি, আমি কিন্তু ব্লেড দিয়ে
হাতে পায়ে গলায় মুখে সব জায়গায় যেখানে ইচ্ছা সেখানে লেখো, ইংরেজি বাংলা ফার্সি যেটাতে পারো সেটাতেই লেখো, আমার কিচ্ছু যায় আসে না।
আপনার আমি শেষবারের মতো কইতেছি, আপনার আর বেশি সময় দিব না, শুধুমাত্র 12 ঘন্টা সময় দিলাম। এই 12 ঘন্টার মধ্যে আপনি আপনার মত বদলাইবেন, নাহলে কইলাম আমি হাঁচায় ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম লিখে ফেলাম, আমার কেউ আটকাইতে পারবো না।
আরামসে তুমি সিগারেট টানো, বুঝে নাই শান্তিতে, আর ওদিক দিয়ে কাম সারছে।
আরে শুনোস না, ওই মেয়ে তো ডেঞ্জারাস একটা ঘটনা ঘটায় ফেলছে। লেট দিয়ে হাত কাটছে, এখন কি হইব মামা?
ওই মেয়েটা
বস কি মামা? হাত
কেন? ওই মেয়ের তোর কোনো কথা হয়েছিল?
কালকে রাত্রেবেলা বাসার সামনে এসে দাঁড়ায় ছিল, আমার 12 ঘন্টার আলটিমেটাম দিছে।
এই কিসের আলটিমেটাম দিছে রে? হ্যাঁ
আরে ওই বিয়াতে রাজি না হইলে কি জানি।
এই কথা তুই আগে কবি না।
আরে আমি কি বুঝছি নাকি?
আরে না বাবার কি আছে, বুঝোস না, মেয়েটা তো ডেঞ্জারাস। এখন যদি কিছু হয়ে যায় মামা, আমাকে তো পুলিশে ধরে নিয়ে যাবে।
আমি কি করছি?
ও আমি কি করছি কিছু জানো না? ওই বেটা আইনার মারপেট জানো, জীবনে তো থানায় তুই যাস্তে জানবি কেমনে? তা না আমি গেছি ফোন, যে কোনো হলে আত্মহত্যা প্ররোচনকারী যেই হোক না কে, তার নাম যদি একবার থানায় গিয়ে কয় মামা, তাহলে তোর খবর আছে। এখন তুই কি করবি তুই চিন্তা করে দেখ।
কি করছে সব? এই লাইলি বাইচা আছে তো?
হ্যাঁ শুনলাম, ও তো বাইচা আছে।
কোন হসপিটাল আছে? আমি যাই একটু দেখা করে আসি।
হসপিটালে যাই দেখা করে, হসপিটাল থাকলে এতক্ষণ তুমি চৈতশিকার ভিত্তি থাকলা, বুঝো নাই? আর তুমি যাই হয়তো বাসায় আছে। এই তুই কি ওর বাসায় যাবি?
তুই যাবি মামা?
হায় রে খোদা, তুমি আইছো, আমি জানতাম তুমি আইবা। আমি লাইলে কইছি তুমি আসবা। চ্যাংরা হও আর রক্ত গরম হও, মানুষ তো, তোমার মনের ভিতরে সেই প্রেমটা আছে।
আচ্ছা আমি লাইলির সাথে একটু দেখা করবো।
লাইলির সাথে দেখা করবা?
কেমন আছে ও?
আছে বাবা, আসো আসো, তোমার আমি একটু দেখা করতে আসো।
এইসব কি?
প্লেট দিয়ে তোমার নাম লিখছি, বানান ঠিক আছে?
একদম ঠিক আছে। কিন্তু কি বলো বাইক না, ভালো হয়েছে না? আমি কিন্তু লাইলিতে কইছিলাম যে লাইলি একটা ছবি তুইলা ওরা পাঠাই দে। ওই কইছে যে না, কিছু জিনিস আছে এগুলো ছবি তুইলা পাঠালে সঠিকভাবে দেখা যায় না, সামনাসামনি দেখতে হয়। এর লেগে তো এতক্ষণ ধরে তোমার জন্য অপেক্ষা করতেছি।
এইসব পাগলামির কোনো মানে আছে?
আছে না, তোমার আমি শাদি করব, তুমি আমার শাদি করবা, করবা না?
এই তুমি কি আমার বলদ পাইছো? বলদ এই পাশে দাঁড়ানো লোকটার মতো।
নিলে তুমি আমার মামার নিয়ে কি করতেছো?
আমি বলবো তুমি শুনবা। মানে এই যদি তোমার হাত কাটার নমুনা হয়, হ্যাঁ আমি জানলে আমি জীবনেও আসতাম না। আর যদি হাত সত্যি সত্যি কাটতাও তাও আসতাম না, কোনো লাভই হতো না। আমি তোমারে বিয়ে করবো না। তোমার মতো মেয়ের সাথে শুধুমাত্র মজা নেওয়া যায়, বাড়ির বউ করা যায় না। তোমার মধ্যে ওই রকম কোনো এলিমেন্টই নাই।
তুমি একটু বেশি বেশি করতেছো না?
এই মাঝখান দিয়ে ঢুকে গেলেন। হ্যাঁ সাদে কি আপনার মানুষের হাবলু কয়? এর লেগে আপনার হাবলু কয়। কারণ ঢুকছেন যখন, তখন আমারে না বুঝায় আপনার এই ড্রামাবাজ ভাগ্যিরে বুঝান। আমি ওরে বিয়ে করবো না, আমি মরে গেলে ওরে বিয়ে করবো না। মানে নিজের তো কোনো মান সম্মান নাই, পরিবারের মান সম্মানটা যদি খোয়াইতে না চাও তাহলে এসব বন্ধ করো। সবার সামনে অপমান করবো না।
থাক ভাগ্নি, তুই কষ্ট পাইস না। হয় তোরা বুঝতে পারে নাই, আর যেদিন বুঝতে পারবো ওই কান্দা বুক চাপলাইবো, তখন বুঝবো যে কি জিনিস হারাইছি। তুই কান্দিস না ভাগ্নি, একদম কান্দিস না। তুই থাক, আমি আইতাছি, দেখতেছি।